Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Fireside TV with a very special guest, Mr. Nikki McGee. What's up with you, man?
Hey, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, I was talking to you before we before we went live, and I was like, man, we started talking about mukbangs without them without them even being mukbangs. You turning me on to stuff. I'm trying to tell you about something. I'm like, okay,
Have to eat, man.
that's right. So what got you? Nah, we gotta spin it back. We gotta spin it back. So um we gonna break it up with a little bit of hip hop and then we're gonna get into the groove and then we're gonna get to where you are and what you got going on. But what was the first hip hop song that ever spoke to you?
The first hip hop song probably was probably the Sugar Hill, uh, that Sugar Hill album,
Rapper's Delight, Chicken
Rapper's
Tasting Like
Delight,
Wood.
maybe like late 70s, early 80s. I could
Yeah.
just see the actual album. That's probably what that just that they just so catchy that it just kept captured me. But I think that was it, that Sugar Hill first.
You know what about that song made me feel kind of special?
What was that?
Um I was blessed that I really didn't know anybody who I guess who cooked bad food for like family gatherings or whatever. Like I didn't, like I couldn't relate. It was funny, but I couldn't relate to it. But as I got older, I learned. Man, I'll always say this. My mother was a great woman, not because she gave birth to me, but she just really gave me some good advice. She told me always eat before you go somewhere.
Yeah, wow, that's great.
You never go nowhere hungry. And she said, and I'm talking about this is like from like age 5 years old, and she just said
Hmm,
like you might not like what they gonna have.
right.
And I was like, man. And as an adult, I've learned like, man, did I call it right several on several occasions.
That's great advice because you gotta always try to have a little something in your stomach.
Oh
Like I said, you
yeah,
don't know if you're gonna like the food or just don't want to be hungry.
oh man, for sure. So my I've been listening to an album every weekend. Like that's my thing to listen to an album in its entirety. I feel like listening to albums is kind of like an art that people are forget. It's almost like cursive now. Like people don't. It's like obsolete. You know what I'm saying? And so last weekend I listened to a Stevie Wonder. I listened to the 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 album that has Az on it.
Hmm, okay.
I just
Songs in the Key of Life?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Um,
Classic.
man, and it's you can really tell when artists were allowed the time to start on a project and then complete it and kind of had some of the freedoms to bring in people to kind of well, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know what they allowed Stevie to do and what they didn't allow him to do, but I will say songs in the key of life that is a complete piece of work. What's the last album you listened to in its entirety?
Last album I listened to probably was Voodoo. So just the every him with D'Angelo's passing has just been like everybody says the Voodoo album. Just to listen to that and then just see the genius in that, and hear like Questlove break it down and how every song was made and how he layered his voice. It's an amazing album. I've been enjoying that, and another one, I guess they did a live from London album that they released, and it's so cool because it's D'Angelo and Angie Stone is singing background for him, and it's
Uh,
amazing. Like, oh, it's amazing. So that's what I've been on the last week.
okay. Nah, he you know, D'Angelo is one of those people that is very difficult to put him into words, like to put him into the jar. But it's like when you look at um a multifaceted musician, songwriter, singer, and then the way that his music, like a lot of people, I won't say he started neo soul, but I'll say what he did with neo soul is just, but I think if he would have done it with any genre of music, you know what I'm saying, it would have been at that level.
He's a genius. And then just how he never updated to the latest equipment. He stayed with the vintage analog equipment.
Mm.
And so just the genius on how he thought and how he knew music. I mean, just the genius. You could clearly see the genius. Like I said, layering the voices. I mean, probably one of the best falsettos. I mean, like you could just tell he was like influenced by Prince and Stevie and Marvin Gaye, and just it's like his ad libs, everything was just so cool. Like his whole demeanor was just so cool, but just a genius. And then I liked how he really was there for his art. He didn't over saturate it. He did his art how he wanted to do it. Stay timeless. And I think that's one thing I try to do is create stuff that's timeless that I hope will be around forever, like the classic artists like a Stevie, Michael Jackson, they created something that like no matter the time, it's still relatable and people can feel it.
So
So
I'm gonna tell you something. You probably didn't even notice it. So when you mentioned all of those artists in maybe describing or maybe some of um, the people that D'Angelo looked up to, you've airbrushed all of those artists and done a very good job.
I think it's for me, it's just so like looking back and just to be grateful to be alive and see them live. Some of the greats. I mean, it just was an amazing experience from seeing like, Sammy Davis Jr. and Michael Jackson. Especially Michael Jackson, just trying to dance like Michael Jackson and just try to figure out like what made him great, his work ethic and trying to be true to himself and create stuff that's timeless and it's amazing to for him to create something and everybody feels like it could be a kid that's born this year, he's gonna have the same feeling we had when we first heard Michael Jackson or saw the moonwalk on Motown 25. It's like our Thriller. It's like everybody's gonna relate.
I'm gonna correct you. I think that people will feel good, but one of the reasons we felt so good was because of the lack of technology. And not to take away
Mm.
Michael, not to take away at all, but to wait, we didn't have the pleasure of going on YouTube and watching something over and over and over and over again and like all of that. You literally were told an award show was going to be on. I didn't really have the patience to watch an award show, but for certain things, I would just say like, well, you know what? I'll put it on, or maybe moms and pops are watching it or whatever, and I'll just keep poking my head in into the good part. The good part happens. But I think it was Motown 25, and it was so big. Now I know Michael Jackson didn't do this, but the excitement and everything of it was so large. You think that he moonwalked across that big old stage, the whole stage, which I'm sure he didn't moonwalk that far, but he did. When he busted it, it was just kind of like, oh, you
It
know what
was
I'm saying?
electric. It was
Yeah.
electric, just like something just to know we witnessed it live, that Motown 25, and just to see like that thriller, that thriller time. And we did used to wait that excitement of waiting, and they'd be like, after commercial, and then he didn't come after that commercial. They saved him to the end. So you watch the whole thing. And that's the thing I've been thinking about lately because you know how they're having Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. It's like no matter the genre of music, you know, I waited for Michael Jackson. Maybe they'll have that one rapper, a rap group perform, you know, that we watched it, but it wasn't such a fuss, and we weren't so hurt as people are hurt now, and making such a big deal of Bad Bunny being the Super Bowl act. You know, sometimes it might not be an act that you know you're not feeling, but you know, it's got to give
This,
everybody a chance, you know.
so as a manager and dealing in entertainment for like a while and just being around and just observing, you know, just learning and observing. One thing that I understand, things that are purchased are for the consumer. And so it's not for us to like to criticize every nook and cranny of anything. Like I used to be like, you know, I was before I got into this, and then, you know, um, my business partner, homeboy, all kinds, whatever, the closest cat to me, he happens to be in the music industry, and so he'll remind me and he'll say, you know, you've kind of been exposed to a lot of things. And so the way that other people may react to certain things, you got to understand that that's, you know, man, that's somebody that they haven't experienced necessarily what you've experienced. So I say all that to say, with the Bad Bunny thing, if you said you give me $1 million right now for me to tell you the title of one Bad Bunny song, one, and he was on a Gorillaz record. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And I, you
wow.
know, I'm cool. You know, I'm cool with that situation. But I couldn't tell you one song. But what I can tell you, enough people love him, not like him. Enough people love him to where you can't, you know, it's you can't like what can you say? You know what I'm saying? It's not, and then to understanding everything's not for you all the
NFL
time.
wants the NFL wants to go global. They want to go global. They're thinking bigger than just the US. Like the NBA is so global.
I don't think that's what it is,
No?
man. I think that was a political way to push Trump's nose
Mm,
in the grass to
okay, okay.
to take his
I'm with
nose
that. I'm with that.
and rub his nose in it. And I
Okay.
think that honestly, I think that that's it more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And then I think also um, with Jay-Z being over the Super Bowl and him understanding how to sell, we're talking about the consumer. You know, him understanding how to sell, the move of Bad Bunny, people ain't stopped talking about it. Fools are talking about doing bootleg halftime shows. Like people are talking about protesting the Super Bowl and doing bootleg halftime shows, this, that, and other. You got to understand, as far as marketing, branding, advertising, the Super Bowl is the pinnacle of the year. That's when the most money is spent on advertisement for commercials in the
It's gonna be
world.
the biggest. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be break
So
records.
so you just I just look at it like, man, they get to push Trump's nose in the grass. They get to make a political stance with all the crazy political stuff that's going on, and they get to sell a whole bunch of stuff. And a whole lot of people love Bad Bunny.
I love them. The love for him is so huge.
Yeah, he man, I our back so a couple years ago at Coachella, the Gorillas backstage was next to his, and like I saw kind of how they were moving his entourage, and then he came out for the Gorilla set, and So he went on after Gorillas, and so I think whenever you have that many people out there and they're tired and they've been there the whole time, you man, he didn't want to burn the crowd out before he had to come. Well, this is my opinion. I'm not going to say what this is. This is purely what my mind deducted from being there. He came out because I was like, man, is he gonna do the song with Gorillaz? Because they had just, the album had just came out and whatnot. But what he did was he came out and I think he had a mask tied around his face or something, like a bandana tied around his face or something. It was him. It was definitely him. But even with people not seeing his full face and him just coming out there in a cowboy hat and getting on stage, I could just like, man, I had to bow down. I was like, man, he the king, man.
Mm, wow.
Oh yeah,
That's so cool.
phenomenon.
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. And like I said, I couldn't name one song. I couldn't hum a melody. I couldn't tell you nothing. But I know how those people reacted to him. And I'm not so much of a hater or so stuck in like me having to be the beginning and the end to say like, oh man, why people going crazy? No, they going crazy because he's doing something that people like.
It's exciting. It's gonna be records. It's gonna be like so huge. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a great Super Bowl.
Okay, this wasn't on the list, but we're talking about it. What did you think of Kendrick's Super Bowl performance?
I loved it. I love the theatrics, the hidden like Easter eggs throughout it, out it. And he didn't do what his music's choice was. He had released and dropped that GNX, I think,
GNX. Uh-huh.
and performed all that, so it was brand new. I thought it was clever and very timely for, the political stuff. I think it was great. I loved it. I think the sound.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I coughed. I was saying, um, I think Kendrick spoke to everybody he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Or everybody who he was supposed to speak to, he spoke to. Because a lot of people were just hating. They were like, oh my God, he didn't do this and he didn't do that. But I'm like, man, he had Samuel L. Jackson, man, like one of the greatest actors, and
Incredible.
he's playing Uncle Sam. You know
And
what I'm saying?
I loved it. I did one of my biggest like posts or videos because I've been getting into doing more more stuff with video cameras and stuff and editing, but I just edited it real quick, a just a video about the Super Bowl, and it took off, and just how Samuel Jackson was Uncle Sam. So it was a great time. I mean, this Kendrick being an artist, a true artist, and like I said, he didn't do the usual things you expected, and he's like such a trendsetter and not scared to do what he wants to do. And that's
He
what I
put
like, to be having the freedom to do what you want to do.
Yeah, no, he pushed the boundaries every way, and all the people that said, man, we just want to watch football, man. We don't want to think, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to ever, but like, man, the country needed like honestly, I look at it like this. He didn't do it necessarily for the moment. People aren't looking at it, but right now is a history defining moment from a year ago November. Our history has been further defined, and there's people that are writing books, there's people that are writing poems, there are people that are making songs, there's artists that are painting paintings that are all going to talk about or not talk, but that all that is going to communicate the time that we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? And so I just look at it like everything is not for the moment. Maybe something is going to have that kind of that aftershock, that afterwave, because until people kind of broke down Kendrick's performance, a lot of people thought they kind of got it, but then it's like it just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper, and then it's just like, oh.
It was
But
deep. Yeah, it was so deep. Like so many. I don't know the way he just thought of all the like all the Easter eggs, how everything had such a meaning, you know. And I don't know. I think that's the way art needs to be. It needs to be. I mean, I appreciate art where it's like feeding the people in a good way, um, and just having a impact that's needed. Or just he's using this platform at a time that's needed.
when was the first time that you realized you had a eye for maybe drawing?
I think it was five. Five was when I began to love art and would just always practice. But in my mind, even as a 5-year old, I knew the art that I wanted to do, but knew I had to work for it or to get to that point, to get to where it's stuff that I'm satisfied with. Because even like I would look up to certain artists and different visual artists that I would watch, and they were like, I thought they were so high up, which they were, and I still, looked up to so many artists, but it's just like just always wanting to have an excellence and to do something that like I'm happy with, that I like, and that's me. So that's what I try to do with the art. But probably real young, I just knew I loved art, but I didn't, like I said, never knew I would make a living as an artist.
So while you're going through, let's say, junior high school, did you see art in your future then, or what was like
I,
on the forefront?
I started doing competitions and I took art classes. My middle school art teacher, she was kind of cool. She was an older lady. She probably seemed like she was about 100 years old, but um, she kind of taught us about the classic artists. And when I got to high school, I had an art teacher that was real good. And so she moved me up quicker to like advanced art because I guess she could see the talent. And so she's the one who kind of brought my art to life in high school. And I would like go to her desk thinking I'm finished, and she keeps sending me back and telling me it's not done. And I would get upset, but she's the one who brought my art to life. And then I would do art contests, but like so still didn't have any mentors or any. I wanted to do art, but and it was always a dream and always in the back of my head, but I didn't know how I was going to get to where I was going to get to because I had all these dreams about art and these dreams of art I wanted to do. Watching Good Times after school and seeing that art and just like wanting to do it, but not knowing how I was going to get to it, or even if I was going to get to it.
So implementing airbrushing into your art, did that make your illustration? Was the transition from what were you drawing or what were you painting with before the aesthetic of airbrushing came into what you do?
I started doing like my first thing I drew and then sold to my elementary school classmates was just sketches. And I went to the Michael Jackson Victory Tour in 1984 at Dodger Stadium, and I got the program book and I drew a picture of Michael Jackson out of there. And then I had my teacher like photocopy it. And they had those, they didn't have photocopies back then, but they had those. Remember that purple paper that was cold?
Yep.
Like but it was weird. It had some kind of fluid that I don't
Yep.
know. It turned purple. Our papers were purple, but he ran the art off on that with that purple ink, and I sold those pictures for like $1. And so
Dang.
mainly it was just drawing and then shading with a pencil, some painting, but I think going to like a Magic Mountain and Knott's Berry Farm, seeing those airbrush artists and swap meets. I would go and then I would just watch. A lot of times I would take an hour just watching people airbrush the t-shirts at like knots and like, oh, I want to get the airbrush just because the color's so vibrant and they can do it so quick. And so in high school, I begged my mom for the airbrush and the compressor. And that's when I started from there and just practicing and practicing. And it was, like I said, nowhere as good as it is now, but I would sell, t-shirts to my friends, and my mom's friends would get t-shirts for their clubs. And I would do outfits for people, because the jean airbrush jeans or
Oh
whatever I
man, the
could do,
overalls.
overalls, yeah, BBD, and like seeing that art, I wanted to get to a certain level, but I knew with the airbrush, I always wanted to make it to where it's a fine art, and that it's appreciated, more than, I mean, I love the airbrushing at the swap meets and not at Knott's Berry Farm and Magic Mountain that they had, but I just knew I always wanted to take it to hopefully one day, do the gallery stuff and museums and stuff. That was
Oh,
my, goal.
so I skipped over. We got we man. I
No, that's
always
cool.
try to see. I try to humanize my guests before I get into exactly what they do and how dope they are. You're definitely dope.
I
But
appreciate you.
I just kind of got excited and I'm jumping all over the place.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
But
Throw every
I'm gonna spin it back just real quick.
okay.
Would you say music is a muse to your airbrushing and painting?
Definitely. Definitely. Like like without music, I mean, music is so important to me. I mean, it's just, I mean, a lot of times I'm just in the car just listening to music. I love 80s R&B when songs were 15, 20 minutes. Like that early 80s R&B. Oh man, that's what I listen to too. So um it's very important. Painting to it, painting to music, um, bettering my mood, comforting me. Music is so important.
So how do you find music now? Like what's your medium for?
I generally probably between YouTube, Spotify. I have like, I don't know, somehow I'm able to find the music I love, um, the style I love of music, um, but mainly through Spotify or YouTube.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy last week, and he was telling me how the AI and Spotify will catch your algorithm, and they'll just start pitching. They'll start reading your mind, man.
It a type of artist, and it's so many. I mean, now it's so many, so oversaturated with music, but generally it's pretty accurate to if it's something that you like, it flows well. It's not like it flows very well. Sometimes it might throw in something that's odd,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the time, if it's an artist that you like, it'll keep that same vibe.
Okay,
So, no, it's incredible.
so you have a youngster. How does the musical and you know at least on social media, man, you have your twin right there with you. You know what I'm saying? You guys are twinning. So did she turn you on to what's going on in her world?
Her music is very different from my music. So we took her to a jingle ball, and we took her to this jingle ball, and like we
You
learned a
gotta.
lot. I mean, we seen acts that we, known, and they had some of her new acts that she known, but that she knows and listens to. So I learned a lot of stuff, just especially because our music taste is so different.
What
But
is a
some of it,
jingle?
some of it I like. I listen to. I think when we went to that Jingle Ball concert, I discovered Sabrina Carpenter, and I think she likes Olivia Rodriguez or something, Rodrigo, and they're making great music. I mean, I think that they might have started off as Disney artists, but they're like the biggest thing in pop. So,
Okay.
but she's got a range of music that like it's very different, but I'll take a listen. If it's good, it's good.
Man, man, that's yeah, no, that's it. So what's the jingle? Uh,
It's a jingle ball done by Kiss, I think Kiss FM, and they
okay,
had like it's like a Christmas time. They had they might have like 20 acts. So
okay.
they have some up and coming acts, some pop acts. They had K-pop. They had Teddy Swims that year. They had uh
Daddy's
the
dope.
that rapper what's the rapper guy? He had the huge hits from Florida. Flow Rider. Yeah, Flow Rider
Okay.
was so they have like various acts for
Nah,
everybody.
it's a large FM radio station
Right, right.
pull in all the artists that they've been giving all these pins and all that to, and y'all
Mhm.
need to come and perform for
Yeah.
our fan base, and you know,
No,
nah,
it's great. It's great, man.
nah, that's dope. That's the hey man, you're a dope dad to stomach it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you had to.
It was cool because we got there early and they had like a little carnival kind of outside. It was at the farm. And so
Okay,
they had a carnival and they had the guy who sings he got like he had a huge like song. He did a remake of I can't think of his that song. The emotion song, I think he used the best of my love, but the artist was out in the carnival on a stage, and then he even performed when we went inside. But that year
okay.
he had like the biggest song. I can't think of his name, but that kid was huge with that one song that like he's probably set. I think he started off on took off on YouTube and got a deal, but I think he just has that one song that really just was exploded. But it was great to see, see that song and how it took off that year.
So from an illustrator to being fascinated by swap meet art, other people were looking at all kinds of other things in swap meets. I was looking at a whole bunch of other stuff in the swap meet, but you looking at the airbrushing going down and all
Yeah.
that to having your art on a incredible series like Blackish, a franchise. Not we got to call it a franchise. There's so many issues that came that
Yeah.
came from that. How did your art because like how did you get tied into that?
Well, I had what happened is I guess Anthony Anderson was reaching out for an airbrush artist to come to his kid's party. And a friend I think I went to high school with, he told me like, hey, Anthony Anderson's looking for an artist for his son's party. And so I hit him up and I think I had done party for LL. So I sent them an email and the picture and just telling them other projects that I did. And I ended up getting the party. And so he gave his son a bro mitzvah because, his son went to school with all Jewish kids. So he had a bro mitzvah. At that party, he had me paint a 10 by 10 foot backdrop. Everybody took pictures in front of. And then I also airbrushed t-shirts and caps for each guest. He had it sponsored by Kango. So all the guests got Kangos and shell top Adidas. And it was just a great night. And um, later, Anthony Anderson was taking the backdrop and he went to all these shows and Wendy Williams, Arsenio, Jimmy Fallon. He's like, hey, I had this airbrush artist come to my son's party, gave him
Oh,
a bro mitzvah.
hold on. He took the backdrop from the party, or he was telling the story of the
He
back.
told the story. He would tell the
Okay.
story, and then the picture that I painted, he
Oh,
would
okay.
show like he would show like him and his son. They were
Okay.
in front of the backdrop, and it would show like I know it showed on Wendy Williams, and like I hit him up for a favor because I had this idea I wanted to do with my live painting. And he's like, hey man, I got you. And I thought he forgot about me, man. I thought he forgot about me. I'm like, oh, I guess he's probably Hollywood. And so 2 years later, he's like, hey man, I'm trying to pitch this TV show. We're about to shoot this pilot. I'm gonna have the art directors call you. I want to
Mm.
do the same thing we did for Nate's party. We're gonna do a bro mitzvah scene. And that was the very first pilot episode of Blackish.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
No,
that was crazy.
that's a good one, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was a on-title show when I did that first artwork. It was a, and I did for his son's party, his life son's party. I did 10 by 10 feet. So for the studio on the sound stage, I had to go 20 by 20 feet,
Oh
and I had to
man.
do it in like a couple days. But
How did you wrap your mind around that, man?
I think it was just I was just so hyped up because I knew the moment. I didn't realize the show as big as it was going to be, and I just knocked out the work. And then next thing you know, he tells me like the show is picked up by Disney, and I see like billboards go up all over the city, commercials start running. And I was like, oh man, this is huge. Like, so I did that, and I thought that was it. And then Lawrence Fishburne wanted a retro 70s painting on black velvet. And like I said, the show was on title. They didn't really have a budget for the first pilot episode I did. So I went 20 by 20 feet, and I just had to paint for the second season 16 by 20, a smaller painting that was only 16 inches by 20. And I did that for Lawrence Fishburne to hang in the guest house. And that was the start of the second season. And so, like I said, as a kid watching Good Times, I loved Good Times and Ernie Barnes and always seeing his art from the '84 Olympics to the Sugar Shack on Marvin Gaye, the Marvin Gaye album. And so, middle of the second season, they called me up, the art directors, like, hey, can you do that art like Good Times? We're gonna do a tribute episode for the season 2 finale. And I was like, oh man, it's like I was just born to do that, man. Like I did the art and they were like, I made it my own, but they were like, no, it's too much like Ernie Barnes because they sent it to lawyers and stuff. And so the art directors told me kind of make it my own. And I did that. They recreated the set, the actors, did all the characters. I had art that was on the easel that was unfinished, and then I had art that was on the wall. And it was just like a surreal moment just to walk through a perfect good time set.
Did you get
It
to
was
keep any of
amazing.
it?
Huh?
Did you get to keep any of it?
I have some of my mock-ups. I still
Oh
have
yeah,
my
but what's theirs
mock-ups.
is what's
No,
theirs is
I could have. I did one episode where they did the son was deciding if he was going to go to Howard or Harvard University.
Mhm.
And I did this big old fictitious because Howard has a alumni mural. So I did that, and that was so huge. And I think they put it on metal. And they were like, if you want it, you can take it, but I didn't have no space for it. But people were telling me I should have took it and they would have kept it for me. But I don't know.
Man,
Hopefully, maybe I can get the art, get my hands on the art, some of the art. But I do have some of like my sketches and my mock-ups that I would first show to the art directors.
you know what I should have did? I should have kept in touch with you when you had that spot that shared space with that company that was doing that coconut water.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I don't. I think I had got rid of that spot, but I just thought I didn't have space for that big of a piece.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I do
yeah.
wish I probably need to reach out to the art directors to see if I can get my hands on the art
Oh man, I'm not
that
trying
was
to tell, I'm not
actually
trying to stir nothing up, man. I'm just
no, no. But I always wonder like what happened. A lot of times they just store it or somebody takes it. That
yeah.
somebody might have wanted it, but I'll just check with the art director just to see like, hey, what happened to the art? Just see what happens to it.
So tell me this: what's you don't have to mention the person, but what's the craziest request you've had in the shortest amount of time to make something for somebody that said they had the resources to pay you to do it?
Um, Really, I'm pretty fast. So, like I said, sometimes I can paint a portrait in, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It all depends. But the fastest that I could think,
Somebody
um,
requested and was like, "Yo, we need you to woo woo."
I think I painted pretty fast for portraits because what did I see? I think I had to do a party for LL's. The first party I did for LL Cool J's middle daughter, a sweet 16.
Mhm.
And I was linked with a clothing line out of downtown. And I kind of went on tour with them in 2012. And they were going to do like one of those LA concerts, like a smoke fest or something, and they were like, "Oh, Redman's gonna be there, Fat Joe's gonna be there," and I did a couple quick portraits for them, and they were able to give them to Fat Joe and Redman. They were gonna be at that. I think it was like out in the Inland Empire, but I did those in like a day, and they got them, and I got pictures of Fat Joe and Redman, and then Redman hit me up, was like, "Hey, the painting's hanging in my house." So that was pretty fast. But I couldn't go to the event because at that night I had to be at LL's house to paint at his daughter's sweet 16.
You know what? Uh, I'm gonna put you in touch with Spinks. He's one of the cats that was on a fishing boat with us.
Okay,
He works for an event production company that
that's a
does
photographer, right?
uh-huh.
Okay,
But
okay.
you but it's but he's more he so on the boat he had to photog he brought his camera. Him and Slink was going
Hmm.
back and forth the game, with the technology and all that. But they do events though. Like it's a so he pictures pit so take it photography and videography is his thing, but he's also on the event production side of it. But anyway, I got to put you guys back in touch because I could just see that being uh being worth it. And
Yeah, I see some of the great events he does.
and it's funny. Matter of fact, I talked to Jay today. Um,
Hmm.
he's about him and one of his partners from Chicago are doing a short horror film.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm not gonna go to everything, but yeah, it's a short horror film. But I'm gonna put you in touch with Jay because maybe you and I'm not saying like but it's just man, we all cool, but maybe we can get some of your art off up in this little short film he got going on. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
cool. No, I had a great time that fishing day.
Hey,
It'll be all good.
I said I'm about to go out on this fishing boat to celebrate my boy's birthday it's so funny because the year before his wife had chartered a boat, but it was a really small boat, and it was Jay, another one of his homeboys, and myself, and so Jay's wife knows that I like to fish. She's been my homegirl forever, so she was like, "So Greg, you coming out?" And I was like, "Man, that boat, man." I said, that boat was kind of small. I'm not, beggars not choosers. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, man, because she was like, yo, we're gonna have, these people on the, this year and these people. And it was like maybe like
Oh,
10 people that she was talking about. And I was like, 10 people is too many people for that boat, man. Like
and your boat must have really been small.
it was yeah, man. It wasn't really it was it would have been perfect for 4 people or 3 people. It would have been perfect for that. You
I'd
know
have
what I'm
really
saying?
got seasick.
Yeah. Did you got sick?
Oh man,
I
I was
could
hanging on.
I kind of remember, but I kind of because you were inside. You sure were inside for a minute. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I tell everybody I love to fish and I always take seasick medicine. I'm just like, man, I'm not gonna be that hard. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
That was incredible, incredible time.
But the funny part was I told Jay, if you would have told me that dinner you wanted us to come to was almost 40 minutes going towards San Diego, I would have went the opposite direction hungry and got something to eat on the way to my. He was like, oh no. He was like, no, it's only like 15 minutes away. He's like, oh, it's not that far. And me and Slink were driving and we were like we keep on going because I just punched it into the GPS. But I will say this: the food and drink was worth and the
It was
company
good.
and the company. I'm not gonna just
Yeah. No, it was fun to hang with you guys.
yeah. Yeah, no, and you know, my thing is I like to get people together, not necessarily talented people. I just like to get good people together. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like if you get good people together, like something's gonna come of it. Which you ran off without me and Slink. We was talking about the mukbangs, man. You hopped into the double dutch. I see you have done several of them.
Now I've been like my thing lately, like just been trying to learn like video editing. And so the food, I mean, I go to some cool places, so it's like I try to, I don't know, I'm trying to learn to use the video camera, and even with my pictures, I want to do things and be able to take people on that experience. So I just been trying to learn how to use my camera, edit when I can, trying to get comfortable in front of the camera. Um, just having fun. That's been my new art that I've been liking, the videos, the editing, different equipment. So when I travel, I take a certain camera, try to practice with that camera, just
Mhm.
getting comfortable, trying to figure out a way to shoot, tell a story, just do something different.
I'm gonna tell you the side of town that you live on right now. I'm gonna tell you what it has that's really good. I
Okay.
would almost say it's the motherland of this. Pho.
Oh, wow, wow.
Oh, just on your adventures when you got time. If you need a culinary muse, look up some pho spots that are on your side of town. And you'd be like, dang, they right here. It's just a whole bunch of them. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, and I gotta get in, I gotta get into that. I know I always see because we have like Little Saigon and all these different
oh
places. So
man.
much, so much food for places around here. That's what I really like about it. It is a whole different cultures, like anything you want here, and it's incredible.
Hey, shout out once again we on our off camera conversation. Shout out to the homeboy Omar. Uh I will be bringing you Nick down to Taco Nazo.
Wow.
We're
No, I
gonna
can't
make
wait.
that happen. We gonna figure it out. I'm going with my other folks on Saturday, but just let me know when you got the time. And literally, it's probably 10 minutes, 12 minutes from my warehouse. And so during the week, you know what I'm saying? If you got some time during the week, you in between whatever, and like I said, you need that culinary muse in
Oh, that's
between
cool, man.
working on a project. Yeah, his nah, all of it's good. Or I'm greedy, but I think a great combination of both. So moving on, you having a daughter. She's probably in junior high school now, right? Right around communicating with your daughter. Do you think the youth understand what's going on politically right now in the world?
Maybe a little. I
Okay.
think I think some a little, some are paying attention, but I don't know. I think it's just a lot of distractions. I think maybe if it's kids that are in an environment where things are hitting at home,
Uh huh.
as far as the ice raids
Uh
and
huh.
stuff. But we've been we've been talking to my daughter about it. She understands, she knows
Mm-hmm.
a lot that's going on, just because we keep it real with her. But it's she
And
knows.
not to get in like too personal or whatever, but I just like to talk to people that have children because, dude, I'm 54 years old. Like, you know, I talk to like my cousin's kids and you know a little bit and you know stuff like that. But as far as actual youth that's in, but not even on just strictly political stuff though. I'm curious about the whole music side of the game. Like my homeboy, he told me he's like a hardcore, he's a Dave from De La Soul, who rest in peace, his first cousin, and he was telling me how his daughter was putting him on to Tyler the Creator. And
Yeah, she loves him. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, she loves him. Yeah.
yeah. And he was like, man, Tyler's dope. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, If
A lot of retro music too, especially like with the TikTok and a lot of,
mhm.
it's like the younger youth are finding a lot of the older classic stuff because they'll make a song or make something trendy out of an older song. So they end up like, I know she knows a lot about Eminem. So it's like
Okay.
just like how we were talking about Michael Jackson, how like a kid now discovers Michael Jackson, her would be Eminem, to know how huge he
Oh,
is
big deal.
after all these years. So
Nah, dope. Have you done any, has what's been going on right now politically, has that played any role as a muse for you in any of the artwork that you've done that's been non-event related?
nah, man, to tell you the truth, like going into this year, I knew where this year was going. I had people who I work with that I let go that I, kind of got into it with
No.
because I told them the direction things were going. And
Yeah.
so this year I kind of been like a fly on the wall, just kind of soaking everything in,
Mm-hmm.
just trying to be a light for the people that surround me and trying to help the people around me. But
Ah,
I I think like um I don't know, I'm ready to come out artistically with my artistic voice with what's going on. But I just been really just observant of just how people are showing their true colors and how people are reacting and what people are dealing with. And now
yeah.
I'm really going into, like I said, this is like November, October, November last year. I knew where we were going.
Yep.
So now this year, I know like going into 2026, like I think I'm gonna be more in it with my art, my videos, um,
Well,
just just
I,
just
I'll say this. Looking at your IG page, you do provide a lot of there, like the you give to us the same things that the musicians and the comedians give to us, which is you give us like artistic relief. Like I look at your Facebook. I see your stuff on IG, but I see you on Facebook, like you're in the algorithm or whatever, and I see the paintings and the events that you do, and I'm just like, man, he's giving some light in these dark times, man. He's giving some.
as an art, I don't know, it's always been my thing, man, just to try to be some kind of light and to use my voice. And then too, a lot of things I think just being a fly on the wall this year is just kind of really, I don't know, it's been taking a toll on me, but I think a lot of times, like I said, especially I've done a lot of political, not political art, but a lot of social activist art. And for those pieces, I always have to dig deep to try to you know, create something that people are going to relate to and people feel. So it does take a lot for me to do those type of pieces. But I don't know, this year for everybody, I think it's just been draining. And
All
I feel
years,
like I gotta
man.
give some kind of light and hopefully somebody give somebody some kind of joy with my visuals and my
Oh
art.
man.
And
Yeah, no,
it's so
you
needed
do.
right now.
And I'll say this. Another thing that in relation to our relationship, that makes me feel good. You're the first. Yeah, that's what I could say. Because I did buy something before. You're the first black artist that I've ever purchased art from, and then I
I
came back
appreciate you.
and purchased it again. Well, I purchased something different, and then I had you do my grandfather, and I've been procrastinating, which I talked to you about earlier. I have this picture of my father, my sister, rest in peace, and myself, and probably emotionally and mentally, it's been the block where I haven't just hit send on the email, like send, but before 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, you're gonna have that picture. And man, I just really want to uh I want other people to feel what I feel supporting an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like someone that like your life is art, man. That
Man, man, you're a special person, man. Just to have met you and just to know how important you are. Like say, you have that light too to to uplift people and inspire people, that you have that in your spirit to like every time I talk to you, it's been so positive, it's been so uplifting. It's like, man, you show people their worth, man. Like, and it's so needed, man. Like you're just a good dude. Tell everybody, I was just telling my wife, I'm like, man, he's such a cool dude, man. Just a cool man, man. You just like, I'm telling you, we need more people like you, man.
I
Especially,
appreciate it.
people who are caring, have compassion, always have something positive to say. We need that, man. We don't need that negative,
You know
you
what?
know.
I try to pour it in. I try to pour in ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? And it's backfired a million times. It's backfired a
Mhm.
million times. But uh I believe that, you know, if you meet people, I'll put it this way. Something I tell my clients all the time. I never ask anything of you that I wouldn't have you ask of me. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And that's as a matter of fact, Jay, we spoke 2 weeks ago, and that was like kind of the tone of the conversation is like, man, I never ask anything of you that I wouldn't have you ask of me. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where people have it twisted. And to that point, that was why I wanted you and Slink to come out for the day of fishing, because I was like, uh Jay is just an incredible cat, man. He's a like so I knew his wife first, but when my sister passed away, I had told them because we, you know, we're I'm cool close with Jay and his wife, whatever. So I had walked out of the church at the funeral, and I had saw it was before people went in, and I saw Brown outside, and Natasha had sent Jay. She couldn't make it because of work, but she had sent them to the
Wow.
funeral, and I was just like, oh man,
Hmm.
and they just my people, and that's why I was like, man, Sling, and then the thing is, I didn't want you to come as an artist, and I didn't want Slink to come as a comedian and be like, well, okay, I'm bringing an artist and a comedian. I was on some, dude, these are good people. These are cool folks. Like, man, if you get enough good people around each other, like, even if it's just friendship, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just the possibilities are just endless.
That was a great day. Everybody was great. It was cool to be. I know me and Slink got there first, and so it was cool. I mean, Slink is Slink, so he has that personality. That's just him. But just to see him enjoying the moment and capturing the moment with his, I didn't never knew would never know he's like a cameraman, and his drone and how he was in it, like, was amazing to see. But just everybody was so cool, and it was a great day, like, to meet,
Yeah.
some other great guys.
I was better after we had some of that Sri Lankan food, man. After that
Oh, it
long
was real good.
that drive. So we almost to the end of it. It's been cool. We going but
That's
man,
been great.
this man, we got work to do. We gonna get it popping. I'm not
All
even
right, all
like
right.
I'm not even tripping. So when so and this is gonna be the last political thing or whatever, but when um there was two opportunities that Trump had to debate Kamala, and he refused both of them. And people that are Democrat or Republican, I have this conversation with them, and I say, "Do you know why, Kamala and Trump didn't debate the last two times?" And then a lot of people are like, "Oh, Kamala's just a dingbat, or she's stupid," or people come with just whatever, whatever. I say no. I say I'm gonna come with the facts. The reason they didn't debate is because she said she would not do it unless there was live fact checking.
Right,
And
right.
the
I do remember that.
president was not having no parts of none of that part. So, do you think fact checking matters?
I think it does, definitely. I just because now it's you see Trump and he just says whatever that
Anything.
yeah, people know it's not true, and
Let me tell you
I don't know. I
something.
think I think people are starting to see now, especially with today being a voting day today, you're seeing that people are waking up. People want to distance themselves, from the BS. Like they're seeing it. They're seeing it. People who are hurting that thought they wouldn't be hurting.
My 20s to my mid 40s, man, I did some traveling and I've been to some clubs and I've had some nights where I've had a couple of drinks. And I've never kicked the lyrics that man will kick. He'll say anything, man. He'll say anything,
So hateful, man.
anything. So, moving along, what's the best advice anybody's ever given to you?
Um, best advice. Um, I don't know. I think I'm more like observant of people.
Negative. Somebody has said, Nick, Nikki. So
Mhm.
look both ways before you cross. Somebody's
Hmm,
somebody's giving you.
best advice.
All right, I'll accept it.
No, because I think like a cousin that I worked for, I worked for him for 10 years, and he's he might be in his late 80s, and
Mhm,
he's in advertisement, direct mail, um, would do the press releases for the Raiders and SC. So I worked for him learning the marketing and stuff,
mhm.
and just being able to watch him, I mean, really just how he handled his emotions, how he worked hard. A lot of times I would leave and I would come back for something and then he'll still be working. Just a lot of like gems he was like a college, like a mentor that like just like
Okay.
after that, it just I could kind of see my life just where I learned like I just learned so much. So I generally try to observe people. I'm always, as a little kid, just been a person who observes people and try to find out what makes them great. What might upset them, what they like, what they're motivated with. I don't know. I just like
Hey
observing
man,
people.
the all the things that help you with your art. You know what I'm saying? When you have to do a project. All right. So um if you had a biopic, what would be the title?
Um, I don't know, something like I don't know, getting back up or like I don't know, getting back up, like always like like get back up or something like or something about how you fall and you get back up or like you
Bounce back.
rebound. Yeah, bounce back or
And
something
bounce
like.
back. So that was kind of gonna be the last one, but I got another one.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
I noticed at some point you just got this passion for running that seems like it came back. Or either it came back or it just came to you like in the last couple of years. What happened with that? Like what started you on that
Well,
path?
I always loved running. That was another passion that I had, and I ran cross country and track um, middle school and then high school. I just always loved running. I used to do team sports, and then I discovered that like with running, it's like it's all you. If you work hard, you don't have to rely on another teammate. That it's all you. And so I would always run. I ran after high school, doing marathons, and then COVID, I got back into it with all that time that I had and started running. I was a pretty good runner, 5Ks. I would come in top five in my age group at 5Ks. But like I've been trying to get back to running. I had a herniated disc that
Mm,
man had me out, man, and so that kind of messed me up, man. Where I,
hey
picked
man.
up weight, was scared to really, work out. So I'm trying to get back into it,
You know
because I
what?
do miss it.
Swimming.
Swimming, huh?
Do water stuff. Like if you don't want to put stress on your body and you want to stay fit, still water stuff, and it'll be easier
Mm,
on everything, and you'll still be able to work your work stuff. But now I tell people, man, this is the last body we got, man. If you're
man,
over the age of 13 or 14, it's not gonna be right in 2 weeks. You're gonna have you have a journey.
I was going to one doctor, to the next doctor, to the specialist. I almost had surgery, but then when we moved out here, um, they were like, try physical therapy. And I picked a physical therapist and I walked in, I looked on the wall. It had, I think he works with the Ducks, Anaheim Ducks,
Okay.
and I think the Chargers. And I listened to what that guy said and I was good. I finished before I was supposed to finish and I still get a little ache in my shoulder, but
Yeah.
man, I was like dying,
You
man.
have a better quality
The
of life,
pain
huh?
was so intense. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, it was miserable. But now I'm like, I can function now.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. Now I had to ask it. So if people want to go look at some of your artwork, your illustrations, all that kind of stuff, where can they go to check you out?
I always tell everybody to go to my Instagram, at Nick the Artist. Keep it current with my art events and projects. So generally I send people there, because I try to keep that a feel of what I'm doing. And then you can go back, kind of see some of the other projects or just what I do, the traveling, yeah, the art projects. But yeah, I always send people to my Instagram.
Yeah, nah. Well, nah, man, we got some work to do, man. Work beyond the and once again, Nick does great illustrations um from photos. He's done a couple. He's done a couple. He did my granddaddy proud. My granddad. I was gonna say my great grandfather, but no, it was my grandfather. And
Mm.
I purchased a couple pieces of art from you, man. My girl with the head wrap that keep me company here at the house, and
Appreciate you, man.
one that I'm not in possession of that I need to be in possession of, and we're gonna figure that out. Your gorillas in the mist, man. I'm gonna track him down.
Oh wow. Yeah, everybody loved that one. That one almost got me to Art
What?
Basel. Yeah, because I ended up entering a contest. Russell Simmons' brother, is his name Daryl Simmons, I think, or his older brother. They would do this annual art contest, with Bombay Sapphire Gin,
Oh wow.
and I entered my gorilla art in there, and I think people voted on it. I was, I think maybe 50,000 people nationwide. I was the top 20 on the West Coast. We had a final art show in Chinatown that was gonna, if you win that one, it was gonna send you to Art Basel in Florida. And I almost got it, but this lady who drew this little bird with a bonnet, a pencil sketch, they love that. And she was the finalist for the West Coast, but that piece almost got me all the way to Florida for that December Art Basel.
And if people want to hook up with you for the kids' parties, for the adult parties, for the bro mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs, weddings, hip hop shows, how can they get
Everything.
with you?
Yeah, I will go to Instagram at Nick the Artist. Our telephone number, 213-864-3264. Email Nick at artistic, artistic dash like the minus sign, and graphics, graphics.com.
Dope, dope. Nah, well, nah, dude, I really appreciate you once again. We
Now,
gonna
thank
get
you, man. It was
together.
great.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna send you that art, and then I'm gonna hit up Mr. Johnson. We're gonna get that mukbang on.
Okay.
All
I
right, man.
appreciate you, man.
No problem.